Listen up, because I'm about to completely flip everything you think you know about financial independence on its head. You've probably heard the term thrown around like some magical solution to all your problems. But here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to admit. Most financial independence advice is absolute garbage, and I'm going to prove it to you in the next few minutes. Before you click away thinking this is just another finance bro telling you to eat ramen for 10 years, stick around, because what I'm about to share will save you from wasting decades of your life chasing a dream that's been packaged and sold to you by people who don't live in the real world. Let's start with the biggest lie in the financial independence community. They tell you that if you just save 60% of your income and invest it in index funds, you'll be financially free by 40. Sounds amazing, right? Here's the problem. This advice assumes you're making enough money that 60% savings is even possible. If you're earning $40,000 a year, saving 60% means living on $16,000 annually. That's not financial independence planning, that's poverty with extra steps. The math simply doesn't work for most people. And yet these gurus keep pushing the same tired formula because it sells courses and books. They're living in a fantasy world where everyone has a six-figure tech job and zero real-world responsibilities. But here's where it gets even worse. The traditional financial independence model is built on a foundation of delayed gratification that borders on self-torture. You're told to sacrifice everything: your social life, your hobbies, your mental health, even your relationships, all for some hypothetical future where you'll magically be happy because you have money in the bank. I've watched people in their 20s and 30s become hermits, turning down every invitation, every opportunity for joy, every chance to actually live their lives because they're obsessed with hitting some arbitrary number in their investment account. They're so focused on being financially independent tomorrow that they forget to be human today. And what happens when they finally reach their magic number? Here's the dirty secret nobody talks about. Half of them are miserable. They've spent so many years restricting themselves that they don't even know how to enjoy money when they have it. They've trained themselves to live in scarcity mode, and suddenly having wealth feels foreign and uncomfortable. The financial independence movement has created a generation of people who are rich on paper but poor in spirit. They've optimized their lives so much that they've optimized out all the things that make life worth living. Now let me blow your mind with another uncomfortable truth. The economy these financial independence strategies were designed for doesn't exist anymore. The advice you're following was created during a time when you could buy a house for 3 times your annual salary, and when inflation wasn't eating away at your purchasing power like a hungry monster. Today's reality is completely different. Housing costs have exploded, education is insanely expensive, healthcare can bankrupt you even with insurance, and wages have barely kept up with the cost of living. Yet somehow, the financial independence crowd is still pushing the same strategies from 20 years ago like nothing has changed. They're telling you to invest in the stock market, while that same market is more volatile and unpredictable than ever. They're suggesting real estate investments when property prices have reached levels that would make your grandparents laugh in disbelief. The game has changed, but the playbook hasn't been updated. Here's what really frustrates me about this whole movement. It's become a cult of optimization where people worship spreadsheets instead of building actual wealth. They spend more time calculating their net worth than they do developing skills that could increase their income. They're so focused on cutting expenses that they forget the other side of the equation: making more money. The most successful wealthy people I know didn't get there by pinching pennies and eating beans for dinner. They got there by increasing their earning potential, taking calculated risks, and yes, sometimes spending money to make money. But the financial independence community treats any spending as a moral failing. And don't even get me started on the privilege embedded in most financial independence advice. It assumes you have family support, no dependents, perfect health, and a stable job market. It completely ignores the reality that most people have elderly parents to care for, children to support, medical emergencies to handle, and economic uncertainty to navigate. The advice to just cut your expenses and invest the difference sounds great until your kid needs braces, your parent needs assisted living, or you lose your job in a recession. Real life doesn't follow a neat financial plan, and the financial independence movement pretends these complications don't exist. But here's the thing that makes me angriest about this whole situation. The financial independence industry has convinced people that their current financial struggles are entirely their fault. Can't save 60% of your income? You must not want it badly enough. Can't stick to your extreme budget. You lack discipline. Can't reach financial independence by 40. You're obviously doing something wrong. This victim-blaming mentality ignores systemic issues like wage stagnation, increasing inequality, and economic policies that favor the wealthy. It puts all the responsibility on individual choices, while ignoring the structural problems that make financial independence nearly impossible for most people. So what's the alternative? Instead of chasing some mythical financial independence number, focus on building financial resilience. Develop multiple income streams, invest in your skills and education, build a reasonable emergency fund, and yes, enjoy your life along the way. Stop worshipping at the altar of compound interest and start building real wealth through career advancement, side businesses, and strategic investments that align with today's economy, not yesterday's fantasy. Financial independence isn't a destination you reach by following someone else's formula. It's a journey you create by understanding your own values, circumstances, and goals. The sooner you realize that most financial independence advice is designed to sell you something rather than help you succeed, the sooner you can start building real wealth and actual happiness.